Welcome to lesson 71, part 1. We're going to need a highlighter today. You shouldn't need a straight edge though. So lesson 71. We're looking at angles as fractions of a circle. Pages 15 and 16. Okay, our content objective for 4th grade MD measurement data C5A. I can understand that angles are measured with reference to a circle with its center at the common endpoint of the rays. Language objective, I can use vocabulary related to fractions and geometry to describe the connection between fractions and angles within circles. Social objective, I can work with others to create models showing fractions within circles and their angle measure. Alright, so here. The circle is divided into halves. Or half. That's plural for half. What is the measure of the unshaded angle? So if I'm cutting it into two equal pieces, half of 360 degrees is 180 degrees. That's why those straight angles have the 180 and the 180. What is the total measure of all the shaded angles? Well, there's only one. So 180 degrees times 1 is 180 degrees. That's one way we can find it, is by multiplying. Or if we take 360 and subtract the angle we do know, the unshaded one, which is 180, we can get 180. But either way, both of these angles are exactly 180 degrees. Each half of a circle is 180. Next one. This circle is divided into thirds. Now this is where you need the highlighter because these pieces right here are supposed to be highlighted. Were shaded in, but they didn't copy. So this one right here is 180 degrees, and this one's 180 degrees. Now we need to figure out what each one of these is. So I'm going to divide it into 3 equal parts. So 360 divided into 3 equal parts. A fraction is another way of looking at division. We get 120 degrees for each one. So this unshaded is 120, 120, 120. Add them all together, you get 360. What is the total measure of all the shaded angles? Well, we have 2 shaded angles, so I could either do 120 degrees times 2, or add it to itself and get 240 degrees. Or, from the circle that I know, 360, I could take away the unshaded one and still get 240 degrees. So that's 2 different ways that I could do it, and I'd end up with 240 degrees in the shaded part. Okay, this one is divided into fourths. Okay, this is also where we need our highlighter. I'm going to highlight 3 of the 4 sections because the unshaded part that we're wanting to look at is just 1/4 of the whole thing. So 360 divided into fourths or quarters is 90 degrees each, because if you look, that's that square angle right there. 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees. So the unshaded is 90. We want to know the total of the shaded. Well, we have 90 degrees times 3 is 270 degrees. Or if we took 360 and subtracted 90 degrees, we would get 270 degrees. 270 degrees is what the rest of the circle is. This circle is divided into fifths. 360 divided by 5 is 72 degrees. So this is 72 degrees, and each of these is 72 degrees. So next question we're looking at is we're joining each of these 4 shaded together. So 72 degrees times 4, or I could do repeated addition, gives me 288 degrees. Or if I took 360 and subtracted the 72 degrees out, it would tell me what's left, which again was 288 degrees. 2 different ways of looking at it. Multiplying the pieces together, multiplying to join the pieces together, or just cut this out of what we know of the whole. There's always more than one way to get to the right answer. Okay, so this one we're going to need to shade in 5 of the 6 pieces. So this is cut into sixths. So 360 divided by 6 is 60 degrees. So this one's 60. This one's 60. 60. 60. 60. 60. So I'm going to join these together. I can either figure it out by taking 60 and multiplying by the 5, because we're joining together equal amounts, and I get 300 degrees. Or I can take what I know of the circle, which is 360 degrees, and take away just that one piece. 300 take away 360 take away 60 is 300 degrees. That is what is left. Okay, we're skipping sevenths, and we're going to go to eighths. So we're going to, you can kind of see this one, but we're going to leave one of them unshaded. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and do the tenths. We're not doing ninths. We're going to highlight 9 of the 10 pieces. So we should be leaving one piece on each of them. Okay, so this one is divided into eighths. 360 divided by 8 is 45 degrees. So each of these is 45 degrees. 2 of them together make a right angle, because 45 plus 45 is 90. So I'm joining together 7 of the 45 degree angles, and I get 315 degrees. Or if I took 360 and just subtracted out the piece I know, I end up with 315 degrees. So either way that makes sense to you. I still get 315 degrees of what's left in the circle. This last one right here, the circle is divided into tenths. If I divide by 10, I get 36 degrees. So each of these is 36 degrees. What is the total measure of all the shaded angles? So that means there's 9 that are shaded, so I can either multiply by 9 and get 324 degrees, or I could take 360 degrees, subtract 36 degrees, and get 324 degrees. Last thing here, a circle is divided into 36 equal parts. What is the measure of each angle? Explain how you know. So if I'm cutting them into 36 equal parts, 360 degrees divided by 36 is 10 degrees. The measure of each angle is 10 degrees. I know because I divided it into 36 equal parts. 360 divided by 36 is 10. Okay, now on to more practice with our 3-column notes.